RWA. Hi there. This is RWA before in the big run-up to RWA, about a week away. So this is First Draft, talking about what you need to know before you head out to the conference in San Antonio. Just a quick disclaimer, you might have just heard some thunder. A couple of us are actually in these big thunderstorms that are rolling through on the East Coast right now. So if you hear anything, or if one of us mysteriously goes into static, hopefully we'll be back. That's what it is. We're hearing thunderstorms. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with everybody on the bottom of my screen introducing Alexis Anne. Why don't you kick us off?
Hi, my name is Alexis Anne. I write erotic and contemporary romance, and you can find me at alexisannebooks.com.
Michelle.
I'm Lachelle Collins, and I write romantic suspense and contemporary romance, and you can find me at lachellecollins.com.
Mary Chris.
Hi, I'm Mary Chris Escobar. I write women's fiction, and you can find me at the very long Mary Chris Escobar, that's Chris with a CH.com.
And Tracy.
Hi, I am Tracy Puckett. I write young adult and new adult fiction, and you can find me at tracypuckett.com.
I am Julia Kelly. I write contemporary and historical, and you can find me at juliakellywrites.com, but you can also find me on Twitter, and all of us are actually on Twitter as well, tweeting along with this chat. So we're going to kick this off by, last time we talked about kind of why you would want to go to a conference like RWA, what the benefits are, and why we're all going back this year. Now we want to talk about the practical side, what to bring, what to do, what to expect when you first walk in if you're a newbie, and hopefully if you have been before, this is just review for you and you're enjoying the fact that we're almost heading to RWA. So we're going to start out by talking about kind of the things that you need to do before you even pack your bags for the conference. And we're going to try this tonight. We're going to kind of throw it out there, the question, the topic, and everybody's going to kind of jump in and talk about what they think is important. So when it comes to getting ready for the conference, what should you be doing? You've got your registration, you've got your hotel and your travel, but what's the next step before you start putting things in a suitcase?
Business cards. You got to order business cards and have plenty of those on hand and ready to go.
Yeah, people really operate either by trading Twitter handles or by trading business cards, and I don't know if you can see that right there. These are my old ones from last year. I think all of us are armed with them right now. So, yeah. All right, business cards. What else?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because Tracy just reminded me that I forgot to pick up my business cards today.
before you get to the conference.
Luckily, you still have a little bit of time.
There you go. See, this is why we're doing it. Helpful.
So let this be a reminder to you all, if you haven't picked up your business card yet.
They're all ready to go. I'm supposed to pick them up today, but oh well. They're still at the store.
How about, what are you putting on there? So what do you need to have set up before you get to RWA? I know a lot of people have talked about social media, and does anybody want to kind of throw out there what they put together before they went last year?
Sure. At a minimum, I think you want probably some social media handle that you use regularly, Twitter, Facebook. Also, if you have, I think you want an email that you're comfortable putting out. If you have a personal email and you don't want to get your personal email box inundated and you want to have kind of more of an author email, you might want to get that set up. Just kind of think about what kind of contact information you want to give out. Website, I think, is a great idea, but if you're watching and you don't have a website set up, don't freak out about that. I think that would be fine, to just have a Twitter handle, email address, Facebook page, whatever it is that you're using. But a website is great, but again, don't feel the need to set that up in the next week and get that up and running before RWA.
Sure. Looks like we lost Lexi, which we knew might be a possibility with all those dramatic thunderstorms, but hopefully we will get her back. So I'll keep an eye out while we're waiting. Anything else that you feel strongly about? Do you guys are you bringing swag?
I am not.
I am not either.
I can answer for Lexi because I just saw her swag, that she is bringing swag.
I've seen her swag.
Yes, we'll make her show it off.
She's bringing some pretty nifty, some nifty swag.
Yeah. And she's actually signing as well, so she's kind of got the meet and greet stuff, and then I know she's also got the author table stuff too. So And Mary Chris, are you bringing anything with you?
I'm not. Just business cards.
Okay. Travel light.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk packing lists. This was probably the thing that I Googled the most when I was getting ready for RWA last year because I had no idea what to expect. So I was most concerned about being comfortable but also being dressed appropriately. I didn't know quite how far people went in terms of the business clothes. So first things first, the dress code is business casual. So you can interpret that as you will, but nobody's going in yoga pants. Please don't go in yoga pants.
I didn't see any of that last year.
No, I
didn't either. Okay.
Romance actors were very, very well dressed for their conference, so I was happy to see that. But I'm telling
Just
you,
not while they're writing.
yeah, don't show up in yoga pants. This is a time to get dressed up in like real people clothes. I have a day job, so I basically bring my work wardrobe. But in terms of what you guys recommend, any tips on clothes, what to bring, what you relied on?
Comfortable shoes. Comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
See, that's not a big deal to me. Cute shoes.
Yeah, no, I'm actually with her. I'm bringing a lot of pairs of heels, so.
I have like 5 pairs of heels packed, so cute shoes.
You're packed already.
I have the big things packed, things that I don't need right now. But
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Nice. One thing that comes up a lot is layers for conference rooms. The conference hotel is freezing, universally freezing, every single conference hotel you've ever been to. And then I just saw on Twitter that the temperature is supposed to be 100 degrees in San Antonio. Those are 2 very, very different climates. So we're really hoping that you consider bringing, cardigans, things like that. If you're somebody who gets cold a lot, I'll probably be bringing some sort of shawl, scarfy thing with me. I probably used it about half the time I was around the hotel last year, and then immediately the moment in Atlanta, it was like 85 degrees. It wasn't even that hot. The moment that I got out of the hotel, just whipped that thing off. So that's one of the big recommendations I see a lot. What are you guys bringing to the actual workshops? What's going in your purses?
I actually went shopping today for my new notebook. So very impressed over here. I like taking notebooks, and I have my one from last year, and I've actually continued to use it for writing notes and things throughout the year. So that's been sort of fun. So it's getting full, and I'm going with pen and paper. So that's what I have in my bag.
Pen and paper are a must. I still have mine from last year too, and I have actually referred to it many times.
Oh yeah.
During the year, so yeah, definitely something to take notes with.
I'm taking. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Like writing down the day and the session, so that if you do go back to look at it and you're like, oh, I know that was in the session that I went to on this day, or that this person gave. You've got some sort of like way to find that in your jumble of notes.
I'm taking pen and paper, but I'm also taking my laptop this year. Last year I did not take it, but I feel like it's going to be a necessity this year, at least once I'm back in my room.
I took both my laptop and my pad last year, but I didn't take the laptop with me to the sessions. But I had it there, in the evenings, and I was writing every evening. So
yeah, see, that's my plan for this year.
Yeah, so I'm also a laptop person. I'll be bringing that to sessions, much more so than pen and paper, only because I type faster than I can write. So I'm bringing my laptop with me. The other thing that it's nice to have available is any handouts that come with the workshops you think you might go to. Even if there is a chance that you might go to a workshop, I would say go ahead and try to print those out ahead of time. Sometimes there will be handouts passed out, but they can run out, or who knows, somebody didn't print them. I had all my notes in a Google document, and I refer to it probably 2 or 3 times a month at least, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's so much information. You're going to be taking a lot of notes because you kind of go to your first session and you think, oh, that's great. It was like being back in college, and then you realize you have maybe a dozen more sessions to go to over the course of the weekend. So anything, whatever works for you, whether it's stone tablet or laptop or pen and paper. Bring your chargers. It seems really simple. If you have an extra power strip, it's much appreciated because the chargers in the lobby and the chargers in the conference rooms themselves get taken up very quickly. I have this little awesome thing. It's a Morphe.
That's a good idea.
Morphe. So what it is a remote charger. It's an extra battery for my iPad, and it also works for it's for my iPhone, and it also works for an iPad too. Lexi has already taken a look at it and been like, "Ooh, that's interesting. Will that work for my iPad?" So I plan to keep that kind of topped up, and just any chance you can throw your stuff on a charger is hugely helpful. So I would carry those. Any other?
Has is officially known as the charger thingy.
Yeah, it's the chargery thing. That's how we refer to it. I definitely text messaged a photo of it around, so I'm very excited to be using it.
If you run into Julia at the conference and you're running low on a charge on your phone, you can just ask if you can use the
charger thingy.
It's true, and it will probably match my shoes or my purse, one or the other. Anything else that you guys feel is important? Because you're on the go the entire time. You pretty much leave your room in the morning and maybe, oh, she's back.
Hey.
Here. Oh, so the storms may have knocked her out of service, but she has not left us. She's back on. Maybe.
I think maybe.
Anyway, we'll get Lexi while she figures out what's going on with her internet service. So yeah, you're definitely out of the room for a while. So anything that you guys felt was kind of vital that you wished you had with you, or you were really glad you had with?
Last year, I wish I would have had snacks because I'm just a kind of person who's always eating anyway, and it would have been nice to have something to munch on because you don't realize. I mean, you are staying very busy between breakfast and lunch and then dinner, and it takes its toll on you. You're walking a lot, and sometimes the water just doesn't cut it. So this year, I will have snacks.
Yeah, I have a note that says, "Please actually eat, people." Please eat.
I accidentally had a snack. I don't remember if it was like but I was really, really grateful for it, and I was super glad that Tracy just mentioned that because I might have forgotten to intentionally have a snack. So one morning I couldn't get to breakfast or something, and I had a granola bar, and it was amazing. I was super happy that was in my purse.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about kind of the layout of meals and how everything works in a little bit. But yeah, that's a big one. Last year they gave us a water bottle, which was really helpful. I don't know if that's going to happen again, but you do get this. Well, we got it last year. This lovely bag, which again I'm realizing matches everything I own because it's red. But yeah, so it's a tote bag, and it came loaded down with a couple of books, and I think a water bottle, and the Smashwords thumb drive with a bunch of books digitally on it.
And a pen.
And a pen. Oh, you still have a pen?
I love that pen. I love that pen. It's one of the best pens ever.
Yeah, so you're going to be getting free stuff. And yeah, I brought an extra bag with me just to be on the safe side and found I didn't need it because of this thing. So I'm really hoping that we get another one this year because I'm not planning on bringing an extra tote with me. But maybe we can talk about that, actually, because you pick up that tote when you register. So when you get there, does somebody want to walk me through kind of what you did when you got to RWA first, fresh out of the taxi or off of the MARTA or whatever you did?
I looked around and thought, holy crap, this is big.
It is big.
Like, Dorothy, you're not in Kansas anymore. No.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to register when I first got into Atlanta last year because it was so late Tuesday. And then first thing Wednesday morning, I had to volunteer. So even first thing Wednesday morning, I wasn't able to get to registration in time because I had to make my volunteer stint. But as soon as I finished volunteering, I hit registration, and luckily there was no line, so I walked right up and gave up my name, and they gave me my bag and my name tag and everything, and then I sat for about an hour and went through everything in that bag and just kind of took it all in, and then I hit the goodie room and filled up that bag. And
Yes.
that's my plan again this year.
People are literally going to throw free stuff at you. So yeah.
That was something, since we're talking about what to expect, that was something I had absolutely no idea was going to happen. You walk into a room and there's just random free books sitting on chairs, like you take this seat, but also have these books. And it happened at several different workshops, so it was nice to have that bag because I did not know we would be getting that much free stuff. I came home with so many books that I didn't pay for.
I was lucky. I got prior warning from somebody's. I wish I knew who it was. A couple people wrote great preview articles, and I can't remember who they were. But they had warned me that they came home with something like 80 books the previous year, so I knew to be ready. And we can talk a little bit more about how you get everything home once we kind of wrap things up. But yeah, you do. There's a goodie room where there's people are able to put out swag, and I found that to be fewer books and more magnets and keychains and compact mirrors and stuff like that. But I also went on the later side, so I don't know if maybe you got the good stuff, Tracy.
No, I stocked up on a lot of Post-it notes, which was really actually kind of interesting because I still will pull some out sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure who this writer is, and I'll look them up. And I've actually read a few books because I had their Post-it notes in my kitchen. And I was like, it's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I should take Post-it notes.
So when you register, you're going to get your bag, your free bag, which is great. And you're also going to get something that looks like this. This is your conference badge. Mine had the wrong name on it, so
no
liberties with whiting it out. But anyway, so this is what it looks like. Everybody wears these. You are not the cool kid in class if you don't wear this. They will not allow you into events. You really do need to wear this. It hangs around your neck, has little back pockets for business cards and stuff like that. You get an RWA pin that goes with it. I'm pro, so I'm an unpublished author I've got ink all over my hands. Sorry, guys. I realized that as we started. So I'm pro, so it has my designation down here, and then also you can get these little flags, and this says first timer on it. I believe all of us had first timer flags last year because it was our first time. You do have to ask for them. Yeah. So Tracy's got a couple. You have a couple of flags, right?
I actually didn't have to ask for mine. Mine came.
I didn't either.
No, mine came in a folder with my badge and my name tag and everything. I just had to put it all together.
Now I don't feel special. Anyway.
maybe you were special. And
I don't know.
I just wanted you to ask.
So you're going to get your badge, and then you can also ask for, I believe, if you've sold, if you're certain designations. There are different little flagged things, and they have them all laid out for you at registration.
See, this one here, my blue one was because I volunteered last year. So I think you get one for, you can get one for anything. I think if you moderate, you get one. I don't know if that's true. But if you do a workshop, if you host, because I think I saw somebody at one point last year who had 5,000 flags. their flags were as long as the badge itself.
Yeah, then you want to stop them and be like, how did you find all of those?
They're highly decorated. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any pins going into it? I just have the RWA 2013 pin, but I know some people had their badges just covered in pins.
I think those are the people who have gone to about 1,000. Oh, hey, Lexi's back.
Okay. Oh, you are back for real this time. It's not like it's lying.
I'm on 3G on an iPhone, so we'll see how this goes.
Oh. This is
God bless you.
Here.
That is determination.
Not even storms can keep her down. No, we were just talking about registration, and we talked a little bit about the goodie room, and then I showed off the badges from last year, so that I have pen all over my hands. But maybe we can backtrack a little bit. Since you have stuff that's going to go into the goodie room, you want to tell us a little bit, for people who are authors who have things to bring?
I have chapstick with my name on it and my website on it. And then today, the first round of swag came in, my postcards. So authors have the opportunity to leave. Tracy's grinning. Have the opportunity to leave promotional items in the goodie room. They have to fit in a container. My container's right here. If they don't fit in the container, they get tossed. They're free for everybody. So you want it to be something that they want to keep and want to take home and isn't going to be too much for them. So I went with postcards and chapstick. They're tiny and they're useful, as opposed to a lot of other things, which for me wound up in the trash, unfortunately, because I only had so much room in my luggage.
Yeah, there's a pretty cruel purging process that happens at the end of RWA. Because if you're like me, you're a pack rat, you pick everything up, and then I ended up having to kind of get rid of things. So a lot of people are going to arrive on Tuesday, and that's when most of us are arriving. So you can register on Tuesday. You can also register throughout the week, but I think Wednesday is one of the bigger days for people to be coming in. Wednesday is the literacy signing. So did anybody attend last year?
No.
What was it? I'm sorry.
The literacy signing on Wednesday.
Oh, yes, I went.
Can you describe the madhouse that is the literacy signing a little bit?
It is huge. It takes place in one of the biggest rooms in the hotel conference center. It's massive. I don't know how many authors are in there, but I want to say hundreds. And it's just tables and tables and tables and tables of authors squeezed in there. Some of the bigger named authors have huge lines, and the smaller named authors are hidden behind the line of excited people there to get their books signed. This event, you pay for the books, and the money goes to literacy. But the authors usually have one book that they're signing there at the event, and there's lines to check out at the end too.
If I was close enough, I'd grab. I waited in one of those huge lines for Nora Roberts because she was the big author who I've been reading for years and years. I wanted to get my book signed by. So yeah, it's a fantastic event. It's also open to readers in the San Antonio area. So if you are interested and you want to come down, if you're an author who didn't register and would like to join the Madhouse for an afternoon, that's available. And it really some of this authors with smaller tables, some of the nicest people you're going to meet. And the nice thing, too, is you're going to get to stand and talk and make a connection with that author as well. So
that absolutely happened with me. I stopped while I was waiting in line and talked to several authors who I'd never heard of before, never seen, and now they're on my radar.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so you're registered. You went to your literacy signing. Hopefully you've eaten something because, as we mentioned before, please actually eat, people. There's a comma in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Trust me. So, all right. Thursday rolls around, and Thursday morning, you guys had to correct me on this because I think I had the details wrong. There is a breakfast, am I right, on Thursday morning that's kind of a keynote type of thing?
That's my understanding is instead of doing the keynote lunch Thursday and Friday, there's now a keynote breakfast on Thursday, and so there will be a buffet tables for us to get sausage and scrambled eggs and everything and take it into the breakfast keynote instead of a plated lunch like last year, which cost them a lot more money than a buffet breakfast.
Which is why registration is less expensive this year, so that's exciting.
I was wondering.
Oh, God, it's so much less expensive, like by a good maybe $100.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So
I could have sworn I paid the same thing.
Me too.
Well, you registered so late, Grace.
I was like, I feel like I paid the same.
I was so, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so I did not attend the keynotes last year, but all of you did, I think. I was very, very bad and had other stuff going on.
I think I missed the keynote lunch.
Okay.
I believe. I don't.
So, does one of you guys want to describe who went, unlike Michelle and me? What is the keynote and what did you get out of it? There's lots going on in the Alexis Anne household right now, but we're just gonna.
I don't know what's going on, but it's loud.
Sorry about that. I might freeze you out, my dear. But anyway, you're back.
Are you laughing at me?
We are laughing at you.
Well, I'm on an iPhone now, and the iPhone was out of juice, so I had to go get a charger, and now I have to hold it because I have a headphone coming out of the top, and it's plugged in the bottom.
You're making the most valiant effort. All right, so keynote address. What can people expect from the keynote itself? Mary Chris, you went, right?
I did. So the keynote it's a seated lunch. So they serve it's a hot lunch. I think there's chicken last year. I don't really remember, but it's basically a lunch. And there's a speaker who I believe it was Kathy Maxwell last year. I think that was the one that there wasn't a dry eye in the room after that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There wasn't.
Okay, yeah. So you're remembering that too. But just she kind of reflected on her career, as I recall, and just gave a really nice talk over lunch. So it's basically a seated lunch with a speaker. I believe we also got free books. That was definitely something. You showed up and there were books on your chair and lots of giveaways.
And cheesecake, and that was pretty awesome.
Oh, nice. Forgot about the cheesecake. And coffee. Now you're a coffee drinker. It's a good time to pick up a little coffee.
There is a luncheon on schedule, if I remember correctly, with Sylvia Day speaking. So
Yes.
there are a couple of these that get sprinkled through the schedule, so you can be on the lookout for those. But you guys were really saying I missed out last year by not attending those. So you recommended them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So we're done with Thursday breakfast. You're going to get your breakfast, hopefully, of some sort, provided by RWA. Workshops. How do you go through, and there are dozens of workshops that are being thrown at you. What was your strategy for making sure that you hit the ones that you wanted to hit? And then if there wasn't anything in a time slot, what did you guys do and what did you recommend? What would you recommend to people this year?
I think it really depends on why you're going. If you're going to learn as much as possible and get as much out of it as humanly possible, then go to everything. Anytime there was even a slot that I was like, I don't know, do I need to learn about romantic suspense? I don't know. I went and I sat in on it, and you learn fun things. So if that's your goal, is to do as many workshops and absorb as much, then go.
How about on the practical side? I know I peeked at the workshop descriptions beforehand, and I'm glad I did because, again, it was really overwhelming.
Yep.
How did you guys figure out what you wanted to go to and why?
I think it really just depends on where you are in your writing and what am I trying to say? What you're writing, like, for instance, I'm working on a paranormal right now. I've never even thought paranormals. Like, what the heck am I thinking? So I'm going to a few paranormal workshops. So, yeah. It just depends on where you are and what you're working on, I think.
This year, when I looked at the workshops, I concentrated more on the indie stuff. A lot of it I know now, so I don't need that. And then I'm also looking at a lot of the marketing end of things, which maybe I don't know as much about. So I'm looking more at indie and marketing and not quite so much at craft this year.
Yeah, there are different tracks that you're going to see, and things will be marked. Craft, self-publishing, I think, is one. There will be marketing, and I think that research is one. I'm a historical writer, and there's one I would like to write a book about a historical about a Victorian doctor, and I'm in luck because there's one about Victorian medicine this year, so that's awesome. So you'll definitely see things, and there may not be something that appeals every single time, but don't worry. There are signings. Did you guys go to any signings? I ended up going to quite a few on the latter days because I was so burnt out. But did you guys go last year? And can you describe a little bit about what makes the signings different than the literacy session?
I went to one. I didn't do a lot of that. But the main difference is that the literacy signings are, I believe, put on by the publishers, and so it is not an event that's open to the public, and you're not purchasing the books. They are there. The authors are there giving them away and signing them. I was curious about the indie signing because I thought that was just really awesome that they had a signing for indie authors. So I went just out of curiosity. I didn't attend any of the other ones. But it's, again, a great place to have a conversation with an author, to get some books signed. It's a wonderful way to discover new authors, too, because you do get free books.
Yeah, I didn't go to any signings last year, but this year I'm absolutely going to the indie signing because one of my absolute favorite indie authors is going to be signing, and, hi, Lexi. So
a little bit of a shameless plug there.
Yeah, I have to make sure that I hit that, if nothing else.
Yeah, I will be signing at the indie signing. I should be at the very first table because I'm the very first name, which I'm super excited about. I don't know what all the sounds are that I keep hearing in my headphones. They're not me.
Fine.
But I did go through a lot of the signings last year. What's different about these author-based signings at RWA versus say a ReaderCon or other things you may have gone to is it's way more casual. You can just walk through there real quick if you want to, see if there are any authors who have stuff on their tables. Some of them will have lines, but it's really easy if you're like, hey, I have 5 minutes before a workshop, or hey, I left this workshop 15 minutes early because it wasn't what I wanted, to then go and walk through a signing real quick and see if there's anything there that you want to pick up. All of the swag, all of the books are free. So if you want books, there's no reason not to go through there and get as many books as you want. And a lot of them, especially at the indie signing, will just be signing these little puppies with coupon codes on the back. So you don't have to walk out of there with giant paperbacks that you may or may not be able to ship home.
Yeah, which is great, again, if you're not able to get all those things in your suitcase or you don't have a plan for getting books home. It is ridiculous trying to ship books home if you are unprepared, because books are expensive and heavy, but hopefully we can prepare you. So the coupon codes are fantastic. I went through and I probably picked up about 20 last year, and you just literally scan them with a QR code and they pop up on your iPad. So if you are a digital reader, that's fantastic. It really is key. And also, yeah, you're people you're going to meet in workshops or hotel bars or whatever. I met a couple of people whose panels I went to and went up and introduced myself and said, I really enjoyed the panel, and had lovely discussions across the board with every author I met, from the very, very biggest, big name authors that everybody knows to people who were at their first RWA and looked kind of as shell-shocked as I did. So that was hugely comforting. One thing I've never been to is the Spotlight Ons, and I actually plan to go this year to a couple of those. Those are spotlights on particular publishers, and I'm not entirely sure what to expect. I don't know if anybody wandered into any of those last year. All of you have kind of done the self-publishing track as opposed to traditional, but did anybody attend one of those?
I didn't know what I was going to do still last year, so I did do the wander through the spotlights real quick. It got busy, crazy, and fast. So a few of them I walked in, said, okay, there's no one here for me to talk to, and I left. So that's me.
Did anybody do did you go?
But I don't think I did. I did go to an Amazon session that I thought was a spotlight session, and it was packed, and I sat on the floor, but it was definitely more of a presentation, not a walk up and talk to people one-on-one. So I don't think I went. Maybe I'll have to check them out this year.
So since we're on that topic, I'm not really sure what those spotlights are. For those of you who went to those, what's the general? Does anybody know? What's?
I don't think any of us went.
Oh,
I went to one.
It just goes to show how much I'm paying attention to the
wait.
conversation.
So Lachelle
Yes.
did one.
I went to one. It was a spotlight on Sam Hain. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically just, they talk about what they do and what they're looking for, what their agents are looking to buy. It's informative and it's interesting. And if there's a particular publisher that you're interested in, I would say it's worth going.
Sure, definitely. Just to get more information.
Yeah. I think all of us are independent, though, aren't we? Except for Julia.
Four Julius. Four
out of five. So, talking about that, actually, agent and editor meetings. I went in with an agent last year, so I didn't attend any of these, but did anybody have experience pitching? Because I know pitching is a huge, huge part of this conference. You have access to people that you wouldn't normally get access to. Did anybody sign up for stuff beforehand? Do any of those?
I did an agent pitch.
You did? Okay.
I did. It's an interesting experience. If you've never done it before and you are in any way interested in getting an agent or an editor, you should do it. It's a good experience. It is nerve-wracking and terrifying, and it feels like being your cattle. You go into a room with everybody, and they give you numbers, and they line you up, and they call you in groups, and then when your group gets called, you get lined up in a row in the order of the agents that you're going in to see, because they're in a whole other room, and they're all sitting at desks on one side, and then you get the chair on the other side, and they bring you in an order, and you sit down, and you have your 2 minutes or whatever it was, and
it's just like auditioning. It's just like auditioning for a Broadway show.
It is. And it was.
They just give you a number and make you wait.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot of people either cancel or don't show, or other craziness happens. So if that is a focus for you, make sure you go down there early on, because they will be posting up appointments that come up empty, and it's a free-for-all. Whoever, they'll be up there at the end, especially on the last day, going, who wants agent so-and-so? And people will be throwing up their hands, and first come, first serve, and you can go in there and pitch your little heart out.
That sounds crazy.
Be aggressive about it, but it sounds crazy, and it is crazy, but it is the way to get access to some of these people. Sometimes I know several people who got full requests, partial requests, who ended up represented by people that they pitched to. It's really important, and there are editor pitches as well. So if you go to one of these spotlights and you decide, I really love this editor from Avon, I'm going to try to pitch to them. think I have something that works perfectly for them. Try it, why not? And see what you can do. I don't know if scheduling is still open. I should have double-checked that. If scheduling is still open for editor and agent pitch meetings, but again, like Alexis said, there is the possibility of getting in, especially as the weekend goes on and people start to get burnt out and tired and things happen. So.
And I will add to that, everyone was extremely nice. Even the agents who looked exhausted and like they didn't want to hear one more pitch, they were extremely nice. And they usually do, unless you're just like, I don't know, I shouldn't say anything, but for the most part, they were willing to get pages and take a second look. So be confident.
Yeah, and I go in.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't pitch at RWA, but I have pitched at a smaller conference. And, I think even if you're not sure, I think it's great practice, almost like, sometimes when you're interviewing for a job, it's good to go on an interview just to get kind of back in the swing of interviewing for things. So, I would say it's a huge thing. Just kind of throw your name in the hat if it's something that's on your radar at all, because it doesn't hurt to try it and get your feet wet, and maybe you try again later. But it's definitely, I think it's a good experience. If anything, it makes you boil down the plot of your book into like a 2-minute elevator pitch, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. Does anybody else want to talk about any of the business side of things? Because soon we're going to move to the fun stuff, which workshops are fun, but let's be honest, there's no alcohol involved in most workshops.
Which one of them is it? Nook is offering margaritas and salsa and Chester.
I saw that. They're having a mixer.
Yeah,
I was wondering that. I think they should, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there are parties, guys. People throw parties. Harlequin throws a pajama party, I think, on Thursday. Different chapters throw parties. I believe Amazon has invited everybody to a mixer on Thursday. We're triple booked on Thursdays.
Oh, yeah, there is that mixer that Thursday from like 7 to 10.
Yeah. But ask around. You never know what's coming up and what's available and open to anybody. Publishers do sometimes do their own things. They have parties. I think most of them were on Friday last year. Yeah, you may end up with a fuller social calendar than you thought. Or you may end up like us, where you meet people at one of these things and end up with company for years and years and years. So.
Yeah, if I hadn't pestered Lexi about trying to get into her ice cream social, then I would have never met Julia. So
there you go.
And I think Tracy told me about the ice cream social, and that's how I found out about it. You must have heard about it from Lexi, and then you told me.
Oh, yes, I did. I was like on my phone trying to
Actually, because I think I told you about the ice cream social.
Okay.
No, I like the story that I was the ice cream social pimp, and I was going around just pimping it to everybody.
True. So if you want the full ice cream social story, you're going to have to watch the previous video that we did on the RWA. We go into the whole legend of the ice cream social and how we met. But in terms of parties and stuff like that, watch Twitter. Everybody's on Twitter. The hashtag is hashtag RWA14. I found out about the famous ice cream social on Twitter through somebody retweeting or somebody doing something. I can't remember anymore. There have been so many things that have popped up. But the really big event, the really big party that you're all invited to is the Ritas. And we actually got a question about, oh my God. Well, maybe this is that outburst is the answer to this question. But we got a question from Stephanie on Twitter asking, is the reader ceremony a must-do, and what should I expect? So I think, are we split? Did all of us attend the Ritas except Mary Chris last year, or?
I did not.
Okay, so Michelle and Mary Chris did not, and the three of us did. And I know Lexi and I stayed till a bitter end. We were at the hotel bar that night with my friend who lives in Atlanta.
I was like halfway through it and kind of dozing off because I'm not a night person. So I was like, for the first half, really excited, and the last half, I'm kind of like, oh.
So, Michelle and Mary Chris, first, maybe really quickly, why did you not go, and are you planning on going this year?
I am not planning on going this year.
Oh.
We're going to get you one of these years. We're going to get you out in a pretty dress. And Mary, you had a flight, right?
Yeah, I didn't go because I was going to be on vacation the week after after RWA, and I just wanted to get home so that I think my husband and I were leaving the next day, maybe. I think Sunday or Monday. I think I wanted to give myself a day between, so that was my idea in flying home. However, I got stuck at the airport, so I actually slept in the Atlanta airport last year and received beautiful tweets, read tweets about the Ritas, and received beautiful texts from my new friends about how fun we were having while I was sitting in the airport. Luckily, I had a suitcase full of books, so I had something to do. But I pretty much decided that I'm staying for the Ritas this year. That was a sign. I do not care to spend another night in an airport in a different city, so I'll be there, and I'm excited about it.
We should mention that Mary Chris did actually get a novella out of this experience, and also we totally offered up a hotel room for her also, but I think it was too late at that point, or something had happened. But
yeah,
anyway.
My flight left at like 6 a.m. But that's the amazing thing, about the connections that we made and the friends that I met last year is, there's these people that I just met who are like, come sleep in our room, and I'm like, that's awesome, but I have to be back here. but very cool, and I did get a novella out of it, so I'm not upset, but I am definitely staying for the Ritas this year.
Novella is name delayed, and it's available online at all publishers. So anyway, so the Ritas. Here's what you can expect. It's a big party. It's a big black tie party. People go all out for this. I wore a cocktail dress last year, and I think both of you did as well, right?
Yes.
I'm wearing a ball gown this year.
Whoop, whoop.
It's bejeweled and ridiculous. I love it. And,
I'm there with you.
Yeah, we're going long. We're going big this year. I think
I'm going huge this year.
Yeah, I think we may have convinced Mary Chris to do the same. So people dress for it. They dress up quite a lot. And if you're a Rita or a Golden Heart nominee, we should mention the Golden Hearts are in there as well. Those are the unpublished. That's the unpublished competition. Those people really do dress because you are a nominee, and it's a big, big deal. We try to kind of describe it as the Oscars for romance novels. Mm-hmm. But you guys want to talk a little bit about what it's like getting into the Ritas, physically getting into the room? That's an experience.
Okay, so I'm taking over on this one.
Go ahead.
Last year we kind of socialized and we sat and we hung out and we waited for the line to file into the room because I could not believe how long and ridiculous the line was. It was like 6 miles long, wrapping around the hotel. And then we decided, when they opened the doors, we were just going to hop at the end of the line and sneak in. And we ended up having to squeeze in with people with this VIP table who I don't really think wanted us there because there were no. Yeah, they were not happy that we had to sit with them, but it was the last possible seating left in the room, and it was disastrous. So this year, I plan to be the very first person in line. If that means I have to wait 6 hours in my dress, I will do it because I do not want to go through trying to find a place to sit like we did last year. It was awful.
The poor people who came in after us ended up standing along the back wall. I mean, there were 30 people standing along the back wall. How did you guys not know how many people were coming to the Ritas? But anyway, I digress.
I think we ended up sharing desserts with them because it was a seated dessert reception. It wasn't a full dinner. But there was maybe wine and maybe...
I don't think that it was.
No.
I don't think it was dessert for the entire thing. I think there was something very special about the table we sat at, which is why I think they were angry that we were sitting with them.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Anyway, never mind.
Just look into a VIP when you'll get dessert.
Yeah, no, that's our trick. Just go late. Yeah. So last year, the Ritas were the hotel bar was right in the middle of the conference space, and then the ballroom was literally right next to it. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year, but either way, I plan to get a drink and walk straight into line, because really, by the time we realized what was going on, I think the line wrapped the entire way around the lobby, and this was a massive hotel. That was a mistake on our part, so don't do what we did. When you do get in there, look for a table that's not reserved, and then you're going to actually be there for the Ritas. So I usually hate galas. I think they're really, really obnoxious, really boring. I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life at speeches as I did with the Ritas. Anybody want to talk about kind of what it's like watching people win these things and also get the service awards and things like that?
For me, all of these people have been working their whole lives. They're just like us. They want to be writers. They have stories inside of them that need to be told. And the Ritas and the Golden Hearts, this is a recognition that their whole, core of their being doesn't suck. And they get up there and they get, 2 minutes to say thank you. And it's awesome. Some of them have very touching stories for how they got there. I think it was Kristen Higgins thanked her husband for all the sex, and that was fantastic. I will never forget that.
I think I missed that.
You went home way too early.
That wasn't at the Ritas. That was at a luncheon, because I remember
okay.
I remember that too. Yeah.
There you go, Kristen Higgins.
Maybe
No,
she said it.
It's a,
You might have said it twice.
Maybe she did.
It's an incredibly moving experience, especially when you're just starting out, at any stage really, where you see people who really are being honored in a way that, especially in an industry that is maybe not so well represented in the mainstream with all the stupid articles about mommy porn and things like that. It's really, really wonderful seeing people recognized by their peers, standing ovation. And they bring their editors up on stage for the Ritas. And then for the Golden Hearts, I mean, these are people who have never had a book out. They're unpublished. And it's incredible watching them just be so excited and, touched by the fact that they've been honored in front of all of these people. So I say go. Go, bring out the dress, bring out the tux if you're of the gentlemanly persuasion. And enjoy yourself. It's really a wonderful night, and then go to the bar afterwards. It's great.
It's great socializing and letting your hair down and taking a second after 5 intense days to go, oh my gosh, this just happened.
Yeah, it really is. I think definitely worth it. But line up early. Don't be like us. We're gonna line up early this year. You can hang out with us in line.
Yeah, do it.
Look for me. I'll be saving a spot.
There you go.
We'll have our long dresses on. Look for the long dress.
So you have to leave RWA, unfortunately. Romance camp doesn't last forever. I wish it did.
I don't even want to talk about leaving. We're not there yet.
I know, but I have a really, really good tip, and I do want to share it. So, you guys want to describe what it was like trying to get all those books home?
Oh, I had to buy. I had to buy a second bag, and I already had a bag that RWA had given to us at registration, and that wasn't enough. I had to buy another bag to take everything home. I should have just shipped stuff home, and it never occurred to me. But
lucky for me, I drove last year, so I didn't have to worry about stuffing things into suitcases. And
You're lucky. That's going to be me next year. It's RWA's in New York, and I am sitting on the Upper East Side of Manhattan right now, and it is a beautiful thing. So,
the bookstore, because they had a bookstore at RWA last year across from the Goodie Room, they ended up doing shipping on the last day, and because the UPS store, the FedEx store that was in the conference facility was like twice as much as normal to ship things, so I went to the bookstore. and had them ship a few things, but even that was, I misunderstood how many books I had picked up. And I came in just a carry-on. So I literally had like books falling out of my carry-on and out of my personal item. When I was shoving it up into the overhead compartment, the guy who was trying to help me was like, "What do you have in your bag?"
Bricks. I have bricks.
All
right.
It was comical.
This is my favorite part of my advice. Somebody really, really wise, whose name I can't remember because I didn't know anybody, last year. I'm terrible. You guys will learn this about me. I can't remember titles. I can't remember plot lines of books I read more than 5 years ago. Anyway, it makes me a great reader. So somebody recommended that you go and you figure out your own shipping. So I went with these. This is a USPS flat rate box.
Yes.
And it comes like
and
this.
it fits at ships.
It fits at ships. So you can download as many books as you want, whether they're hardbound or whatever. So I took mine, folded it in half like this. It fits beautifully in my suitcase, and it still fits in my new suitcase. I not only brought the boxes, but since these are flat rate boxes, I went ahead and had, at the little automated post office thingy, printed out a couple of labels with my zip code on them. And as many labels as I had boxes, I brought 2 with me. I just picked up 2 today. And I just went ahead and taped them up. I brought packing tape with me, which was an inspired moment. So I brought packing tape with me, and I taped them up. I addressed them to myself, and I stuck a label on them. And I went down to the hotel concierge, nice as could be, asked if they wouldn't mind shipping them out for me, and sure enough, since they were already prepaid postage, they took care of it for me. My books showed up, I think, 4 or 5 days later. So
that is a brilliant idea.
It's really, honestly, it was the best. I wish I could remember who it was, because that and Erin Knightley's packing video that we haven't talked about yet, best things. Best, life-changing as far as I'm concerned. So since I fly, since I've flown to these last 2 conferences, it's really helpful not to be lugging quite that many books home. I did end up with probably about a dozen books in my suitcase, and I also had my handy RWA tote filled with books. There's just no getting around it. This is really just like a stopgap to all of the books. I ended up actually purging my stacks of books, and I left a bunch with a tip for the hotel maids, so I hope that they enjoyed the books. I don't know what happened to them, but my hope is that for the ones that I had duplicates of and things like that, I could go ahead and pass those along to somebody else. So enjoy the books. Just know you're going to have to get them home somehow. And anybody who's driving, I'm very jealous. So.
I don't think we can emphasize enough how many books you can come home with from this event. Hundreds,
if you want to. Literally. You can just go to every signing, and there are signing after signing. There's signing after signing after signing. You know, it's not just the literacy signing, it's the free signings. It's signings constantly going.
You know, I didn't go to any signings, and I came home, I know, with at least 80 books.
Yeah.
I didn't go to any, and I ended up with a bookshelf full as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had to start being very selective. I think on day 2 I realized there was no way I was going to get everything home. So.
This year I will be very selective because I refuse to bring home 800 bags of books this year. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Last year there was a
and
table.
that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a table if you ended up picking up duplicate books or just didn't want something. It was like right outside the room, and you could put your books there. So there is something you can do with them if you decide.
Definitely. Don't throw them away. Yeah.
Yeah. I like leaving them for the housekeeping stuff. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Please take these.
I worked housekeeping in my youth, which wasn't that long ago, and I would have appreciated somebody leaving me books. So there you go.
There you go. You could have read them on your lunch break. It would have been great.
So we touched a little bit on kind of how overwhelming RWA can be while you're actually there, and we're going to try to wrap this chat up at 9:30 to bring us to around hour. But you guys want to talk a little bit about decompressing afterwards? I think there was a hilarious series of text messages and emails that went around afterwards of all of us just being kind of like deflating balloons. What is it like getting home, and how do you describe this to people in your life?
You don't. I mean, there's no way to make anyone understand what. Yeah, it seems like you went on this little mini vacation doing something that you absolutely love, but you come home
Right.
and you are so physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted.
Your brain is fried.
I wanted
Yes.
to stay in bed for 2 days, and after I finally was able to pull myself up and look at everything that I had brought home and unpack everything, it's amazing how much you have to absorb, and I'm still trying to absorb everything from last year, and we're about to go to the next one. It's amazing.
I went to work.
What she said.
You did not go to work the next day.
It was awful. It was
Oh,
terrible.
my God.
Everybody was like, "How was your vacation in Atlanta?" Because my good friend lives in Atlanta, and so they expected me to be on vacation with her.
Oh, my God.
And I think I probably gave them the blank stare of somebody. It took me about a week to process what had just happened, and that's totally fine, and that's normal. It is so overwhelming, especially if you're an introvert. I'm not terribly introverted, but I need alone time, and you're just stimulated constantly with people. So don't be surprised. It's totally okay.
Yeah, I'm not an introvert at all, and I still needed a lot of time to. Yeah.
If you can take a day off, if you're writing full time, just give yourself a day off of writing. And if you are working another job, if it's at all possible,
Just sleep.
A day
You're
off.
just going to want to sleep. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just do that. And I took the week after RWA off, as I mentioned, and that was really, I mean, it just kind of was when my personal vacation worked out, but it was amazing. I don't get to do that this year, so I will be doing what Julia did last year. I'll be getting messages like, "This is crazy, what am I doing?" And that will get me through the day. But if you have the ability to take a day off, I would highly recommend it. Whatever your job is, writing or another day job, sleep. Like Michelle said, just take a day and sleep. Watch your favorite movies. Don't talk to people.
Don't
answer your phone.
Yeah.
Unless it's from us.
Unless you're
I think
texting your friends.
I think I sat in the airport kind of just staring at a wall while I ate, like, what just happened? And then my phone kept dinging with texts from Julia. You were in a different, what are they called, wing
Terminal.
of the airport?
Yeah.
Terminal, thank you. We just kept texting back and forth about our flights, and then all of a sudden I was like, I met nice people. I was, oh, crap. I'm definitely emotionally fried right now.
Yeah, no, it's overwhelming, and again, we can't stress enough how okay it is that it's overwhelming. If you need to take a few minutes and step away during the conference, you should do that. If you're a runner,
Oh my
and you
gosh,
bring
yes.
shoes, bring shoes, go running. I got a massage. It was a terrible idea. I was way too over. Just like, I probably should have just sat in a corner for a while and stared at a wall.
More
but if there's
stimulation,
something. Yeah, if there's something that you can do, there's something that you can do. I'm about to go edit a sex scene. So, if there's something that you can do where you can just kind of be by yourself, or I think I'm going to actually bring a bathing suit and go sit in the hotel jacuzzi for a while. Probably drag one of you with me and just like be quiet and not talk to each other.
Should
that
we
really
give
helps
Lexi
as well.
a moment?
I've read
Dying.
I've read Julia's Wyoming piece, so that just really cracked me up.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Whoops. Anyway, maybe I won't drag one of you with me. Moving on. So what about the post-RWA desire to write all the things in the land?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I have a folder on my computer that has like 1,000, okay, maybe a half dozen work in progresses, just because I'm like, oh, at RWA I'm gonna write this, and I came home and wrote a few words for each one, but yeah. Poor
You
Lexi.
get so much information that
Yeah.
you just want to. You're like, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can update my website, and I can tweet this, and I can Facebook that, and I can revise this manuscript, and you want to do it all because it was all such amazing advice, but you can't do it all at once. So after a couple of days of trying to do it all, you start to come down a little bit and realize you can only do certain things and streamline.
Yeah, you're gonna make a priority list.
You definitely come away inspired.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And I think that's why that downtime is so important, because you come away and you hear all these people's wonderful stories and you're totally inspired, and you come home and you're like, I'm totally going to write like serial, paranormal, contemporary romance. And, like, for me, like, that's not what I write at all. It was ridiculous for me to think that I was going to do that. So that's why that decompression is like, absolutely write all the ideas down, then take a day and decompress, and then take that good energy and move forward with, you know, one or two of the ideas. But you definitely will see all these amazing people and be like, I can do this and this and this. It's good. But yeah, take that time to decompress and make a priority list after that.
Yeah, I got off the plane and I went straight to my boyfriend at the time's apartment, and we had dinner, and then I think I put on yoga pants and I sat down at his kitchen table and just went, I have an idea. Give me a moment. I have an idea. And by the time, about 2 hours later, he was working away. He had work of his own. He was working away, and I had plotted out a novella, and I wrote that novella. So that was awesome. You're going to get, and I think I got the idea for that in the middle of the guy whose name I can never remember, Tracy, Michael Haig. In the middle
oh
of
my
his,
gosh. Yes.
plotting workshop, and it was awesome because it kind of set me up with exactly what I needed for that story. So yeah, you're going to get a lot out of it. And again, it's totally okay to run the gamut of emotions between terrified and overwhelmed and ecstatic and feeling like you've met your soulmates and crying in front of Sarah McLean and Nora Roberts. And I mean, it happens. It happens. So we're excited, and we hope you're excited. So in closing, why don't we just kind of whip around really quickly, and you guys can promo whatever you've got coming up, if you've got anything that you want to tell the lovely people about, and then hopefully we'll wrap everything up, and you could be looking for us at RWA. We are very friendly, and we love talking to you, and we will gladly stand in line with you at the Rito Awards. Stephanie, we would be very, very happy to do that, even if you're not wearing a long dress. So, Lachelle, you want to start off? What have you got that's out that you want to let people know about?
Well, I have the Kelly Family series out right now. That's 4 novellas and 1 full-length novel. And I've got the Essential Jagged Ivory, which is my Rockstar series, coming out in a box set in just a week or so.
It's really exciting. And there's a whole web rollout and everything for that. You guys should check it out. It's really cool.
It is.
Mary Chris, how about you?
I actually just released How to Be Alive. I have it right here. So it came out the very end of June. Super excited. So it's my latest full-length novel. It's available actually for the first time in paperback. You can get it online at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And then it's available in ebook pretty much wherever you would like to get an ebook. So super excited, rolling out promotion for that, getting some really nice reviews back from folks. So thanks for reading.
Alexis Anne, our most diligent chat member, who struggled through storm to be with us. What about you?
I have a couple of fun things. I have my first novel, The Storm Inside, is free everywhere right now. So if you
and
want to read
it's
it,
so good.
Thank you. And also free is the first volume in my new erotic serial, Tease. So you can get either of those for free and try them and see if you like them. The 4th Tease just came out yesterday. Was that yesterday? Holy cow.
Yeah.
And there's only 5 of them, so you should get them. They're awesome.
They really are, guys. They're a lot of fun. Tracy,
the
what
sexy
about you?
times.
Yes, lots of the sexy times.
Yeah, lots of sexy times. Unlike with my books, no sexy times in my books. But yeah, I have a bunch of them. I'm not even going to sit here and try to remember what they're all called. But you can find all the details at tracypuckett.com. And I have 2 releases coming up in September where I'm tying up a series and I'm kicking off another. So I'm really excited about that. More details soon.
I'm so excited!
I have a novella tentatively scheduled for November. Details, hopefully, and a cover should be coming out soon after RWA. There's another blog hop brew.
Yes.
So free fiction is coming forward, or coming out soon. I think I'm going to be writing a follow-up to what I wrote back in April. So I just relinked to that on Facebook and on Twitter as well. And I don't know, I've got secret stuff brewing, so I can't talk to you about it because I don't know what it is either right now.
It's so secret, even Julia doesn't know.
It's so secret.
Those are the best ones.
They are. I don't know what's going on in my life right now. But yeah, so hopefully when more details come out with further broadcasts, we can go ahead and wrap those up. I think we haven't talked about this, so I might be springing this on people first draft. Maybe we think back in August, doing another chat. We need to discuss that, so we will release details on the page. We need to figure out what we're talking about. We may not want to talk to each other for a week after RWA, as we mentioned. So we'll let you guys know, and we'll be tweeting along. And, of course, the Google Plus page is there for you to follow, as well as our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for making it to the bitter end with us. We really appreciate it. And we hope that if you are going to RWA, that you let us know, and we would love to meet you. And if you are not going and you're thinking about going next year, reach out if you have any questions. We would be more than happy to talk to you guys about what you can expect and whether it's worth going. Come visit me in New York next year for RWA if you're not going. So yeah, so that wraps everything up, and we'll be talking to you guys very soon. Bye.
Bye.